Okay, critical path analysis, here we go. So the activities that aren't dependent on anything are A, B and C. So we can say that they all are going to start at 0. Keep now going forward. They all feed into D. So the earliest time that D can start is when C is finished. So D can only start at 9, which also means D, hang on, right. So feeding into B and G, sorry, B and C also feed into G, but as does D, so that one's a bit trickier. E is fed by D and A. Right, so the earliest D can finish then is going to be at 14. So the earliest this one can start is going to be at 14. So also likewise, because F is dependent on D as well, the earliest that F can start is going to be 14. And the earliest that G can start is also going to be 14, because that's the biggest out of all of these. So they can all start at 14. Right. Okay, so this one now, it could start at 18, so it's dependent on E, and that's bigger than F, which would be 14 add 1, which is 15, so this one is going to be 18. I is fed by F and G, so the earliest G will be finished is at 26. Okay, so that's going to have to start at 26. The earliest this one can finish is at 15, but I is dependent on G, as is L. Now, but L is also dependent on I, so the earliest I can finish is at 30. The earliest H can finish is at 24, but J is also fed by I, which can't finish till 30, so these are all going to be 30 because these are all dependent on I. Okay, which gives us the final time. This one's going to take 12 minutes. So our latest finish time, remember this is latest finish time, so it doesn't delay anything. So these can all finish at 42, so that's the latest time they can all finish. Right, so working backwards, without it delaying anything, I is going to have to be finished at 30, otherwise it's going to delay this activity here, J, isn't it? Okay, so the latest that this one can finish is going to be 30, or it'll delay anything. Okay, now this one, hang on, sorry, G, it needs to be finished by 30, but it also needs to be finished by 26. And if it's not finished by 26, it's going to delay this activity here, isn't it? Okay, right, so that's going to be 26. Okay, so E, now H could be finished as late as 30, and it only takes 6 minutes. So as long as E is finished by 24, we're still going to finish H by 30. Okay, same here. This one, F, also needs to be finished by 24. Otherwise, it's going to delay this one. No, it's going to delay this one because this one takes 6 minutes. So those two both have to be finished by 24. That one has to be finished by 26. Okay, now D, if it's not going to affect anything, this one could start as late as 20. This one could start as late as 23. And this one could start as late as 14. So this has got to be finished by 14 or it's going to have a knock-on effect. Okay, now going backwards from here, A has got to be finished by 9, or it's going to affect this one. B's got to be finished by 9, and C has also got to be finished by 9. Okay, there we go, done. Right, so then working out your critical path, they're the ones with no floating. So to work out the float, you're going to do the latest finish time, take away the duration, take away the earliest start time. And that gives us our float. So the latest finish time, take away the duration, take away the earliest start time. And if that's equal to 0, then we know it's on our critical path. So we can whiz through this now. So C is on the critical path. D is on the critical path because 9 add 5 is 14. G is on the critical path because 14 add 12 is 26. I is on the critical path and J is on the critical path. So C, D, G, I, J is your critical path. Right, the float on E. So the float on E is going to be the finish time, which is 24, take away 4, take away 14, which gives you 6. So the 6 minutes float time on E. Right. Given that activities H and K were both overrun by 10 hours, find the new minimum completion time. So H and K are both going to overrun by 10 hours, right? So H and K, ooh, right. Neither of them at the moment are on the critical path, are they? But what happens if these numbers change? So let's just change colour with my pen. Right. So if this overruns by 10, that's now becoming 16. This, oh God, sorry, is becoming 17. Right. Right. So this is going to take 16 now. So this, the earliest this one can start now is 34. So the earliest all of them can start now is going to be 34, because H, 34, 33, yeah, because that's bigger than the one on the critical path, right? Okay, so the earliest that one can start is 34, and the earliest that one can start is 34. So now, as this one, 17 is now the longest running task, 34 add 17 is 51. So the critical path is now H and K. So it'll still go C, D, might not go G. I think it's probably going to, well, it's going to change the whole critical path, isn't it? But basically, your new finish time, your new earliest finish time is 51. So 51 hours after it started. Okay, so it's 51.